episode of Love Lines with Counselor Femi Olaitan. Counselor Femi Olaitan is a relationship expert, a sex therapist, a pastor, and a conference speaker. Today, we want to talk about the subject divorce, sad divorce. Counselor Femi Olaitan,
Yeah.
I want to know, and I'm sure lots of our viewers would like to know,
Okay.
is God really against divorce in marriage?
Oh, yes, God is against divorce in marriage. I think that is very clear, actually. God doesn't want you to get divorced, to get divorced from your partner and all of that. All right. God's intention is that marriage will be for life, actually. Yes. I understand that there are situations that could arise that may lead to a reason for wanting to get a divorce or something, but God really wants you to stay in that marriage for life.
Well, I'd like to take it up from situations that could warrant divorce in marriage, because we've seen marriages that looked promising, where everything was going on well. All of a sudden, just from nowhere, all this crisis started happening, and before you say Jack Robinson, all you hear is they're divorced.
Okay.
All right. So I want to believe there are things that could have caused this. What, in your own years of counseling people, of handling marriages and relationships, are those things that actually could have been leading to divorce and marriages?
Okay, so scripturally, the one or two grounds where divorce may be considered.
Okay.
All right. Number one will be a case of infidelity. All right. Jesus said that, because in the New Testament they asked him and he said, no, don't get divorced. And they asked him, they said, but Moses permitted us to divorce. And he said, Moses did that because of the hardness of your heart. All right. Because it may be difficult for you to take it. All right. So, yes, where there is a case of infidelity in marriage and all of that, and it's a situation where you can no longer take, all right, for whatever reason, we just can't manage it as it were. Well, I think you are allowed, Then secondly, where there's a threat to life, in the case of physical abuse and all of that, and there's a threat to life. You don't want to keep that partner in that marriage.
Counselor Femi, talking about that, as Africans, for example, it seemed like a shameful thing to see women walk out of their marriages. Most women would just rather stick there, go through all of the abuses, because they don't want to walk down the aisle of divorce.
I understand perfectly. You see, I'm a pastor. Okay. I'm a counselor. I'm a pastor also. So naturally, we should say, don't get separated. But again, we've seen situations where this partner died in that marriage. So we would rather choose life, all right? Where there's a case of continuous physical abuse and there's a threat to life, all right? I would advise you can seek for divorce. Maybe there are things to do before you get there anyway. Maybe we'll get there because of the discussion.
Yes,
anyway.
And, of course, Councillor Femi, it will bring me to that, because I want to believe that it's a process and it doesn't just happen in a day. For couples who are struggling, who are probably thinking of divorce, what can they do before making their conclusions? All right,
so I'm going to add one more point
okay.
to reasons for separation, condition under which divorce will be allowed.
Okay.
Number one is infidelity. Number two is physical abuse, where there's a threat to life, basically.
Okay.
All right. Number three, where either of the partner is unwilling to continue. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. So if either of the partner is unwilling to continue,
yes,
whether right or wrong, you may not be able to compel him or her, to continue. There may be reasons for that, though.
Okay.
All right. And that does not necessarily make it right. But where such case arise, this other partner will have to move on. All right.
Wow.
However, peradventure, we have couples who are in the process of, who are considering divorce or are going through situations in their marriage This is my counsel.
Okay.
All right. Where there's a case of, let's take for instance, a case of physical abuse. The first thing I say is, my first counsel is escalate it.
Okay.
All right. Physical abuse is not something to cover up, for too long, because it is addictive.
Wow.
Yeah, people get addicted to it.
Wow.
They have some sense of pleasure or whatever from it, So it's not something you want to solve by covering it up.
Just managing
Just
it.
managing it, that's the way.
I mean, so managing the abuse.
Yeah, so you don't manage physical abuse.
But for love's sake,
Well, you also don't want to lose your life for love's sake.
Well,
All right, and you don't want to get your
No.
partner to that position where he or she becomes comfortable with it. By the way, physical abuse is not exclusive to the male gender, it's to the female gender. It's
yes.
on both sides. All right, so I want to say, number one, escalate it.
Okay.
Number two, at the point of escalation, make sure that situation is dealt with. So it means that you may have to bring people into that matter, your parents, authority figures, and all of that. Number three, I will counsel that obtain a commitment, from the abusing partner. All right, there must be a written commitment.
Okay.
All right, as it were, in the presence of some authority figures,
Yes.
As it were. All right, so the people must be aware. All right, number four, I will encourage that partner must be committed to therapy. All right, or some kind of improvement or development or something, or to growth, as it were, so as to help him or her change perspective and attitude, as it were. All right, and number four or number five, I would say that before you consider divorce,
Yes.
maybe you should consider separation.
Okay, so that is a situation where the husband moves away from the wife, or the wife moves out of the house for the husband.
Yes,
right?
yes,
Okay.
for a period of time,
Period of time. Okay.
where sometimes living apart for a while help you to reassess things.
Or do some resetting. So
Yes,
to say.
it helps to reset you. It helps to reassess and reevaluate the situation properly. All right. So before you finally get to the point where you take a final conclusion as to going for divorce and all of that, I will counsel that get separated for a while. It can be monitored. The separation can be monitored. Monitored in the sense that the authority figures, the accountability partners who are involved, and during this process, separation itself may not heal or may not resolve things. During this separation, during this process, this abusive partner will now have to undergo therapy. And a few other things. This is in the case of abuse, of physical abuse.
Okay.
All right. The same may also apply where it's a case of infidelity.
I was going to say that actually, because gone are the days where women or men will still keep relationship or marriage on, even if their partner goes haywire when it comes to being faithful. Nowadays nobody wants to share, either a husband or her wife with anyone. So in a case where a woman is just all bent on, going for a divorce and marriage on the ground of infidelity, I don't know how much patience one can have or what such a woman can do in that case.
Actually, it's both genders. It can be both ways.
Okay.
All right. Yes.
I agree. I quite agree with you.
So it can be both ways.
Okay.
Well, as painful as infidelity can be, it can be resolved. All right. It's not beyond forgiveness. That's what I'm saying. All right. It is not beyond forgiveness. There are quite a number of reasons for infidelity in marriage. For instance, there are courses that talked about that. I have a training that talks about reasons why folks cheat and all of that. All right. So if you focus more on healing, more on forgiveness, and some corrective measures, as it were,
Yes.
it may be better. So I'm trying to say that divorce is not the only solution to infidelity.
Wow. We really cannot exhaust this. and I'm very sure we're going to come back and discuss this matter again. Divorce. Don't forget, kindly subscribe to this channel, share, and don't forget to keep viewing. Until another time. Bye.